This summer, the Caribbean Cultural Center African Diaspora Institute provided youth of color from New York City the opportunity for us to express ourselves through a multimedia video documentary project. Collectively, we decided to choose the topic of struggle in order to show the differences and similarities between various communities. In order to grasp different people's opinion on what struggle means to them, we conducted our survey. What does struggle mean to you?
I struggle every day just for survival. Just keeping my head above water. Financially. I struggle emotionally with my spouse, my children. Politics, political things that go on, policies and stuff that go on in society. It's really hard.
Being homeless, it's not easy.
Struggle to live, having raised 5 children, is being homeless, and have to be homeless one time with my children. That's the biggest struggle I've ever faced in my life. Because whenever you got a place to live, it's one of the hardest struggles that you could have, and that can happen to you with a job or without a job. But when you have to struggle with have your wife and your children and be homeless, that's the hardest struggle I've ever faced in my life.
I was homeless. I just got out of the shelter. I just got my first apartment. I have 6 children. I only have these 2 with me. The rest are with my family. I'm 36 years old, and this is the first time I've ever had apartments.
It's not easy for children nowadays because, of course, I'm not a child. I'm a grandparent, and the children, they can't get apartments no more. Y'all really need to look at it and protest against this credit check in order for y'all to get an apartment. That shouldn't have anything to do with apartments.
I grew up in the ghetto, so I know what struggle is. My mom was on drugs, my dad was never around. I was emotionally, mentally, and physically abused the better part of my childhood. The man I am today is not the man I always was. When I hear the word struggle, I went to the Army, been to Iraq, been to war, my best friend died in my arms. That's struggle. When I got out of the military, when I started in business, before I started, I was homeless for 2.5 months because my mom stole $48,000 from me. That's struggle.
Being free of America and being free of the American secret government that actually runs things.
What Dr. King died for and what Malcolm X died for, what Medgar Evers died for, it was to give us freedom so that we didn't have to struggle. Struggle for me is just keeping up with my people and representing my race and doing the right thing and not doing anything that embarrasses us. We have a president now that's looking for us to support him, and we have a struggle. Right now we got the worst recession, it's close to the second depression, and this is struggle. Everybody's hurting. We're not alone in this.
But it's a struggle every day. Got to grind with it or get lost with it. And be smart about it. Don't be greedy, yo. Greed get you, fucked up. You're gonna have probation, parolees, going to halfway house. You don't need all that, man. Just get your money and be happy. But she's looking nice. And I love girls. I struggle for the girls. I struggle for a lot of things. I struggle for my bills. I gotta pay my bills every month. It's hard out here. I need a job. So can I please get a job? Whoever watching this, I need a job.
When it's hard times, when rent can't get paid and everything, when your lights get cut off and all that, you feel me? Like the everyday struggle, like when you go in your pockets and you only find lint in there and everything like that, it's crazy out here sometimes, especially during this recession, you know, so it's like you gotta just strive and keep doing what you gotta do and everything.
Different things to different people. I think to struggle means to have to work hard for the things that you want.
Working hard to get where you want to get, you know? Struggle is doing without things. That's part of struggle.
I really don't know. Hard times. Yeah, hard times.
To have a hard time, I would think, with something. Maybe like you're going through something that really is hard and you want to do better and stuff, and sometimes it's hard.
It's always a struggle. It's a never-ending struggle to some extent. And there are moments of success.
As a black man coming to school in New York, struggle is when you have to juggle school and work at the same time to support yourself and pay tuition.
To me, struggles are obstacles that occur in your life.
To my mind comes the word like resistance, the upliftment and overcoming of a people who are oppressed, and that path to overcome the situation that you're in. So when I think of struggle, I think about Puerto Rican fight for self-determination on the island and here in the United States, and people of color in general, you know.
Well, it's probably the way of life of this world, everywhere.
Struggling basically means to make ends meet around here because people are, it's still a recession, so people are still struggling trying to get a job.
It seems like it could be one of the hardest goals you can reach, victory in the struggle, because it's so big, it's a fight, you know what I mean? And people, brown and black people, they experience struggle their whole lives in this country. When you look around us, like the little we have is being taken away from us now. And you know, we're struggling to try to keep it. And we've been struggling just to try to survive and try to stay alive for so many years. I think struggle is deeply, deeply embedded in our people. When I say our people, I say brown and black people across the world.
Is the ability or the continuing challenge in one's life to overcome something that is outside and something that is inside.
Being a black woman living in America, you know how everyday life, how we have to work extra hard, even extra hard from the normal people would have to, we have all different colors, races, in this country. And as a black woman, it's definitely a struggle, especially trying to have a family and maintain your family, and try to, support, your children, and, try to keep a roof over your head. That's a struggle.
Every day is a struggle. I don't care how you see it, which side of the ball you turn.
I've learned to see struggle as a good thing. You know what I mean? I learned to see struggle as that pressure that puts a piece of coal and makes it a diamond. So basically, struggle is it's perseverance. You know what I mean? It's what you put into what it is that you believe into to get what you want.
We struggle to strive to get to where we are. Some of us do, some of us don't. Maybe some of us will, some of us won't. Tomorrow may be too late, but don't wait. Because time is too precious.
What struggles are you currently facing today?
Right now, I'm struggling most to keep a roof over my head. Providing for my son. Pretty much working on goals to get my house. In my real estate business, struggling.
I'm going through a little struggle right now, as far as things go, like with housing, getting into apartments and everything, but, I'm still standing on my 2 feet.
Trying to juggle work and pay down my school loan and at the same time save enough to buy a house and fit my aspirations to go to graduate school into all that, That is my main struggle. The most significant part of my struggle, I can tell you, by and large, is kind of behind me. The toughest part was making sure I'm able to overcome the obstacles.
Because, you know what I mean, being born broke, you know what I mean? And niggas don't like to be broke. How long can you be broke for? You can't go get you no girl, you can't get you no sneakers, you can't get you things that you need. You need these things in life, you know what I mean?
Money, of course. Right now, everybody's struggling with money. I just graduated college, so there's not a lot of jobs offered right now to me. My major is graphic design, minor in mass communications. And where I live, I come from the Central Valley, Fresno, so there's not a lot. I have to move to a larger city, but no money to do it. So working hard as a bartender, very hard, been struggling with that.
Since that struggle, I've been on. All my kids are growing up now. My daughter's a New York City police officer. My other son is doing well. They graduated from school.
Well, I'm struggling in school. Sometimes I go, sometimes I don't. But I know I have to keep going so I can pass, so my future can be better. Just school right now, that's about it.
When I first got out of college, another area that we did a lot of work in was in tenants' rights, helping tenants, organize tenants, so that they could get the proper housing conditions and prevent the slumlords from just taking their money and not giving them services. So I guess in some instances the struggles were easy, in other instances they were very difficult. Some you win and some you don't win, but struggle you nevertheless do anyway. You know, it's an ongoing struggle to not only win a particular victory, but to keep on pushing forward so that people get what they're entitled to, that their humanity is recognized, and that the services that they're entitled to are the services that they get. That they not get shortchanged just because they're black or Puerto Rican or Haitian or female or.
Life is hard being a human being as it is. So us dealing with what we're dealing with today is even more crazy. For us dealing with the racial issue with jobs, dealing with stuff out here on the street. You can't hang out on corners that much no more. It's not gonna get you nowhere. Everybody can't become a rapper. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got your stuff, set out right, if you don't got the right kind of people, if you're not doing it, if you're not into the clubs, the people out here don't see you. It can't happen overnight. This is not roots, so it's gonna take some time to build or whatever the case. You gotta grow before you walk. So I guess that's what it is, as far as dealing with people in the society and the neighborhood and people in the world.
The Black Panthers were trying to address the ills of black people's situation. When the party was created in 1966, there were a number of salient ills that needed to be addressed. One of the ills was police brutality. Another one was the dropout rate for our kids. We had a health issue, particularly the sickle cell issue. Those are some of the things that we tried to address. We tried to address the matter of the housing situation, that there was not adequate housing, and there was a lot of evictions going on back then.
I see the whole country right now in a big old struggle with what's going on.
I made a lot of wrong decisions growing up. I was addicted to drugs. My mom and my dad was addicts, so I just followed the wrong crowd, and I ended up on drugs too. And I had some children, and they was born with drugs in their system, so they took them from me. And then I tried to change my life. When I got pregnant with him, I decided I didn't want to do that no more. That God gave me another chance to be a mom, and that's what I'm trying to do now.
The ability to overcome, not so much the ability to overcome, the actual journey by which you challenge a system. You challenge something that has kept you from achieving the fullness of yourself. At the same time, you struggle inside to control yourself. A true warrior who can stand in the family of man and say, I am a warrior, has to struggle within himself as well, or herself as well. So those are the two forms of what we call struggle. It's a challenge, a formidable challenge, that one constantly seeks to overcome.
What struggles did you have to overcome to get where you are today?
I'm 60 years old. For 60 years, the government, the secret government of the United States of America, have been terrorizing my family. 60 years, all day, every day for 60 years. That is what I have been dealing with. You know, so that is what my family has been dealing with. Unfortunately, I have not been really able to deal with other matters. In terms of me personally, I graduated from Brooklyn Automotive High School. I went into the military. I was on the road to become a helicopter pilot, but once I passed all the tests and they promoted everyone but me, I dropped out of becoming a helicopter pilot and I became a jet engine mechanic. I left the service and I went to college and I majored in accounting. I attended about 3 semesters of that, and then I later went into studying electronic engineering to fix cameras like this, to fix anything electronic. So that's what I do. But I work out here as a vendor because as a Black Panther, I was locked up. I did 17 years for shooting 2 police and for expropriating funds. Upon being released, the FBI communicated to me that they would not allow me to get a job, and if I got a job, they would get me fired from the job. And they have been primarily pretty much successful with doing that.
I just came out of prison for doing 29 years, and I've been out 1 year, so it was a hard struggle for me to make a readjustment back into society.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years from now, I'll see myself with a couple of houses, okay, clothing company, okay, and helping people like who are struggling just like me.
Working with youths, you know, I love working with troubled kids. Unfortunately, there's a lot of males are incarcerated and the kids do not have their fathers, so I want to be that role model to the kids. So within 5 years, hopefully I'll be working with kids.
Hopefully in 5 years, maybe I'll be pursuing my hip-hop dream and everything, you know, maybe doing a little acting and everything.
Hopefully landing a job with a successful advertising agency. I really want to work for a magazine. So with that, I'm going to do freelance work until I get into a job where I can try and learn a lot more about the business and then develop my skills.
Still working. Basically, but that's the way I'm thinking right now. Basically, still working.
I see myself working. I'm trying to get into school right now. I see myself trying to have a career, not on the streets though.
I see myself hopefully entering graduate school somewhere. If there are no struggles to get there.
I see myself probably in a master's program, living in the city, going to NYU to become a psychologist.
I see myself maybe retired, maybe selling my company and maybe retiring and hopefully being fairly wealthy.
Since that struggle I've been on, all my kids are grown up now. My daughter's a New York City police officer. My other son is doing well. They graduated from school, but I see myself now retiring, hopefully, and making a better life for myself.
Hopefully retired, on a beach, stroking the dog.
I guess if I'm fortunate, I'll be still in public service. It's been an honor to be able to represent my community. I grew up in East Harlem and Harlem, and basically in New York City, born in the South Bronx. And so I was fortunate to be able to come home from college and get involved in my community. And I hope to be able to continue to forever in terms of being an activist in the neighborhood. In this case, I'm an activist that happens to be a state senator. Hopefully I'll continue to be able to represent the people in some level of government. I was a city council member for 8 years, now I'm in the Senate.
In my country, doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, and enjoying life, hopefully.
Hopefully, I plan to get out. I want to leave New York. I don't want to stay here because it's too fast. And I want my kids to get a better life. I don't want them to grow up here because by the time they get teenagers, everybody's going to have AIDS. everybody. Children now 14, 13 years old with AIDS. So by the time they get teenagers, they're not gonna be able to have fun. And I don't want to, take that from them. I want them to live. I want them to go somewhere where it's slower. Even though, I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But I think they'll have a better chance if I leave New York. I really do. I don't want to stay here.
I'll be a billionaire in 5 years. No question.
5 years? Wherever the road takes me. Only you can choose your own destiny. Whatever you make of it. It doesn't matter where you go, how far you're willing and able to take it. It's what counts. Your destiny. Remember.
After working on this documentary, we realized that while all communities face different socio-economic struggles, nonetheless, communities of color disproportionately lack the resources to be economically independent. While we have acknowledged those who have struggled for us, the job of the next generation is to continue that legacy. We want to challenge the system that creates the inequalities that our communities are facing. Struggling doesn't end, it's a way of life.